Amicus is an early growth fund. The fund typically invests in high growth companies across four sectors, which is really healthcare, consumer, technology, and financial services.
Hello and welcome to another episode of 8. My name is Sanjay Chakrabarti. I'm the founding partner at Tag8. This series is all about entrepreneurs, and today's guest is someone who 24/7 works with entrepreneurs, looks at various businesses, invests in entrepreneurs, and actually their success is what determines how successful he is. I'm absolutely delighted to have with me my batchmate and dear friend from Arthurandersen, Mahesh Parasuraman, who is the co-founder and partner at Amicus Capital Partners. Mahesh, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Sanjay. Thanks for having me over. Pleasure.
Mahesh, you know the format of the show, so let me get to the first question. That is, who is Mahesh Parasuraman in one breath?
Who is Mahesh Parasuraman? Good question. I think simple, uncomplicated, I think humble guy. What you see is what you get. I think I'm very passionate about what I do. I do things that I love, and I love the things that I do. Never give up. I think that's the biggest learning, and dream big. So I think that's really what I'm all about. Willing to help, willing to learn. And, the journey till date over the last, almost 25 years of career has been exciting, and hoping the next 25 will be as well.
Super. And knowing you for 25 years of rather your entire career, pretty much I can say all that you said is something that I can pretty much vote for. But let me get to the second question. Tell us more about Amicus Capital Partners.
Amicus is an early growth fund. The fund typically invests in high growth companies across four sectors, which is really healthcare, consumer, technology, and financial services. The mandate that we set out to do is to back companies that are capital efficient and that have the ability to become what I call as segment leaders or sub-segment leaders. If you look at how we think about the business, I think we think ourselves as a partner to the founder, helping him achieve the goals, and making sure that we can build great companies. I think every day, I think we're excited about waking up excited, wanting to back companies, see them grow, see them flourish. I think that's a very, very different high. To see high quality entrepreneurs come out of India, how big they're dreaming. I think there's a lot to learn from that. If you look at what Amicus stands for, it's derived from the word, Ami, which is really a friend. And that's really what we want to be as a firm, a partner in the progress for the founder to achieve his end goal. We believe that we are a passenger in the journey. We take very long-term views, work very closely with the founders, and we are fortunate to have done that in the past. And I think we have a portfolio of 9 companies now. I think each one of them are, either already are category leaders, or I think over the next few years will emerge as some.
Super. In fact, Mahesh, I know 2 of the founders of those companies really well. And I can say that, some really good choices. Let me get to the next question, which is unusual for this series. But given the vantage point that you have, tell us some learnings that you've seen working with so many entrepreneurs that you could share with us.
The first learning is all about founder selection, at least for our business. I think irrespective of what cycle you are in, what stage you are in, how much you end up paying in terms of valuation. I think it's the founder that really creates the business on one side. So if you have a great founder, I think the outcome will be pretty good, even if you end up paying quite a bit. And what are those qualities that we look for in the founder is the ability to dream big. And the second one is to not be insecure. I think that's a big thing. We try and tell all our founders to surround themselves with people that are smarter than themselves. And that's the only way that they can actually build great businesses, because they can focus on bigger things and get the team to execute on that. I think we've seen this over the last, I think it's 17th or 18th year. And I think if I look back at all my experiences, I think this is probably the single biggest factor is founder selection. That where we've got it right, where the founder has not been insecure, I think has worked really, really well. So that's one. The second one is to make sure that the founders can minimize the mistakes. And that is where success comes in, because I think you get a window of 4-5 years in every founder's a journey where I think there can be some catalytic events, and our role as an investor is really to make sure that we can help the founder take advantage of it. And what that really means is be willing to learn and connect the dots in the business that you are in. And a lot of founders actually don't do that. They're very inward focused, on their business, focused on execution, and forget the fact that they need to look outside and connect the dots. And I think that's the second important thing for founders, to let go and look at the big picture.
Those are some excellent points, Mahesh. Just going back to the founder, is there a thought around what is the educational qualification of the founder, or what is the experience that he brings to the table?
No, not at all. I think we don't make that distinction, and I think it'll be unfair to founders. What we look for in founders is a bunch of traits or characteristics. If he's from a great university, I think that's a plus in some cases, that's a minus in some cases. We've had a lot of successes in the past, and had a dairy company that we invested in the past where 4 farmers that came that didn't know a word of English, or maybe barely knew broken English, built South India's largest dairy company. So I think education is overrated in different ways. I think it's all about bringing that energy, excitement, the ability to see the larger picture, to be able to create a winning organization, having EQ and letting people in and delegating. A lot of founders actually struggle with that. When you're young and small as a company, I think a lot of founders do everything, but as the company scale up, I think they find it very difficult to let go. So, and that goes back to the first point that I talked about of not being insecure. As a founder, you should never be insecure because you have a greater purpose in life. And I think we look for these kind of qualities. The last one is governance. And I think we as a fund look for, this is a very, very high bar as far as we are concerned, because it allows funds like ours to exit in an orderly fashion without, disturbing the cap table. If you don't have good governance, and I think you struggle, that's the cause of friction point between the investor and the founder. And, we want to avoid that. It goes back to who we are as Amicus, amigos, ami. So culturally, I think we want to back founders that, have all these traits and characteristics. And I think we've been very, very lucky in the journey till date.
That's outstanding. I think some very, very relevant points. Mahesh, getting to the next question, that one habit of yours that has helped you in your work life?
One is to connect people and help people, connect with people and help them as much as possible. I think, in different ways, I go out of the way to make sure that, I can help people. And what that does is it opens a different set of conversations with a lot of folks. It brings new perspectives, new relationships. And I think all those are, have always helped me in different ways, and not have the expectation that somebody is going to help you back. But that's something that I'm very, very focused on. I think every week I make at least 5 to 7 introductions to folks, always willing to make sure that I'm connecting people, and that is an old habit. And I think that that has brought about a lot of new perspectives for me, allows me to grow as an individual, get diverse views. So I think that's something that's sort of held me in good stead.
Excellent. And I can again vouch for that coming from you. Let me get to the final question. Amicus Capital Partners, 8 months from now and 8 years from now.
8 months from now, we'll be on the road raising our second fund. So hopefully we'll have, a big first close of our second fund in the next 8 months or so. And 8 years from now, hoping that we'll have at least $1 billion of assets under management under more than one asset class. That's really the hope, and hopefully become India's premier early growth fund where people, founders can look to partner with.
Super, Mahesh. In fact, as an entrepreneur, I can tell you that India really needs many people like you on the investor side, because the trust and then your entire bit around how you help the entrepreneurs to actually grow through and build a team, and really that's the type of guidance that comes way more handy. Obviously, the capital also matters, but I feel that just working back, partnering with them, being a friend to the entrepreneur, it's a very lonely world for the entrepreneur per se. So I'm sure having an investor like you backing there and being a friend is of significant importance to them. So thanks so much, and all the very best to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Sanjay.